right, welcome back to another edition of the Forza Athletics Life and Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Inferna. Where at Forza Athletics, we equip coaches and athletes with the tools they seek out in order to achieve their unique and specific goals. And I just realized that I recorded a podcast with this hanging, and I just started this one with it as well. And this is not my vehicle, so we are going to keep it. We'll see if anybody notices and watches. And we are recording this on Tuesday, March 1st. This is podcast number 2 on my way to school this morning. So this episode will probably be released sometime later this week. Today's Tuesday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And I want to continue our conversation about facilities. If you build it, they will come. Gained a lot of traction in the last episode, which is interesting to me. It's fascinating, this topic. And I want to continue with recruiting and facilities because I think it's something interesting and just an idea that coaches and I actually talked about 2 weeks ago at an indoor meet. So I was talking to 2 coaches. Highly respect these 2 individuals. They're great coaches, great people. They've coached really great athletes. So amongst, there were 3 of us that started the conversation, but then 2 of us really dug in deep. And we were talking about recruiting and, how recruiting's going for this season and, being at Alfred State, we're not really trying to recruit the same athletes, the same kids, because different majors and different programs, which is great. So I think we both kind of let our guard down, even though I don't know. I don't know if there's like specific secrets to recruiting or what have you. But anyway, we're a SUNY school, so we offer a SUNY rate, which is half of what this coach's tuition and housing is at their school. And we were talking, and I said, have you noticed an uptick in applications and athletes interested in competing at your school? And he said the university has seen, or college rather, has seen an uptick in applications, but not related to athletes. So they're still getting athletes, just not as many or as a big proportion as they had in the past. So this team carries like 4 or 5 times the amount of athletes, men and women, that we have at Alfred State. Big education, college, nursing program, business, like you name it, they have it. And he says something that I thought was really interesting, that, we have a 2-time defending national champion on the team right now, and you would think that that would attract more attention to the university, but we haven't noticed that. And I was like, I thought the same thing at Fredonia after Julia won in 2009, that would help increase or raise the awareness of Fredonia track and have more kids apply. I thought the same thing at NAS when Lewis won in 16. That fall class of 16-17 season, that we would have a larger uptick in athletes because, hey, you just had a national champion, you're still training on campus, like all of, the bells and whistles that go along with it. And it led me to wonder, so at the D3 level in Western New York, if your facilities aren't that big of a deal, from what people shared prior, that facilities would rank like 3 or 4 for them when they're making the decision to attend a college. Mine, I don't even think it was really in the top 5 between Geneseo and Fredonia. So the facilities really don't matter. And financial aid and major is basically a wash, right? Then you can look at like coaching staff, or you look at current athletes on the team, and I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like, if you're a high school athlete, you're gonna watch this. If there's athletes on the team that are already successful in your event group, and by successful I mean All-American, national champions, regional scores, like all this, is that going to influence your decision to attend that college, either positively or negatively. I've talked to athletes before that wanted to be a big fish in a small pond. Well, when you have the national champion on your team, you are not probably going to be the big fish in that pond. You could be the second, maybe. But if you have a 2-time defending national champion, or 4-time national champion on the team that's still returning, 10-time All-American, whatever, is that going to influence your decision positively or negatively? And it wasn't until that we had the conversation that I really thought about the negative component. Like, do some athletes, maybe they don't want to stress over that competition, so they're not going to engage with that school, and I'll just go someplace else, and I don't know, high jump 6'2", instead of going to the school that has the 7-foot high jumper. Maybe I could learn from them, because it's an interesting dynamic. So we were talking about this, and I don't know, it makes me wonder sometimes, because it's been so long since I've been in that seat of making the decision of what school to go to, that facilities didn't play a role in it, just like most have suggested here. And most colleges have education programs and secondary ed and things like that, and business and what have you. So if those things are all equal, then the professors don't influence the decision, if you will. You might not go to a college because the professor's written 50 papers on something that might not be important. There's really not much left. You have proximity to home, and you have current team, you have coaching staff. So I don't know if anyone's gonna watch. If you're a high school athlete, like, what do you think? And maybe this doesn't even have to be all track related. This could just be any sport. Like, what what parameters do you look for after all those other topics have been taken and used up, I guess? If it's not about financial aid, it's not about your major, it's not about coaching, it's not about the facilities. Is it proximity to home? Is it coaching staff? What helps you make the decision? Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Forza Athletics Life and Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Inferno, and have a great day.